Hi everyone and welcome to your next at-home workout. This one's going to be a fun one. It's based on time, so regardless of what pace you follow when you're doing the workout, follow me in terms of timing. I know no one trusts my ability to time or count, with very good reason, to be fair, so I have got a timer set up in a spot that I can see it. If you see me glancing up to my left, that'll be because I'm checking on the timer. I'm endeavouring to not have to move the camera around as much this time, because the workout is very much based on time and on interval stuff. So what we're going to be doing is a fat loss circuit, and we are doing 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and we're doing 2 rounds of three sets of exercises. And so the format is 30 seconds on, 15 seconds to transition to the next exercise, and we do that 4 times. Then after our 15 seconds rest, after the 4th exercise, we'll be doing 1 minute of cardio. I am going to be doing different bits of cardio, but you don't have to change them. So I'm going to do some shadow boxing, I'm going to do some star jumps, I'm going to do some other bits and pieces, but you can stick with one or you can follow me. It's absolutely fine and dandy. So before we get warmed up, I am going to demonstrate the exercises that we're using. Any problems and you can't do a particular exercise, substitute it out. If you don't know what to substitute it for, drop me a message and I will give you some suggestions. I will show you as I demo how to make them easier or more challenging, so you've got some options before you get started, and then we will get going. So first one we are using is a prisoner squat. So with this we've got hands up behind your head, not pulling them forward, just position this way. And the reason we do this is it keeps your back nice and straight in a really good position, and we are simply squatting down as low as we can. So as always with our squat, sending our hips back and getting them nice and low. Generally the best position for this is feet just beyond hip width apart, toes tilted out, and getting as low as you can. And as you can see from the side, having my hands up by my head helps keep my back in a really, really nice position. Next one we're going to do is a plank. So I'm going to come a bit further back and hopefully you should still see me. And plank, we are looking for hips, shoulders and ankles to be in a line. We're looking for tummy button to be pulled in towards your spine, and everything to be basically clenched. For this one, I feel a bit cheesy saying it, but shoulders to heel, body of steel, because you should be actively contracting every muscle. If you can't do a full body plank, then bring it down to your knees, but still maintaining that plank position. And you can do it either on your hands or you can rest on your elbows and forearms, whichever works better for you. Okay, so that's our plank. Then we have a press up, hopefully far enough away that everyone can see. So plank position, dropping down. With this, I like shoulder, hand, oh, no, definitely can't see that. Apologies, going to have to move the camera, didn't want to, but never mind. I like to have hands nice and wide, so as you drop down, you get to 90 degrees and everything's nice and sturdy. As I've said in all the videos before, this is a press up that doesn't hit so much across the chest and hits the shoulders. If that's not something you can do, then let me know. You can make it easier by dropping down onto your knees and going into a 3/4 plank press up position. Again, keeping hips in line with shoulder and heels. Or if you can't do that, come into a box position, knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. Still have that nice wide hand position and dropping down to the floor. If you can't do that, then you can do what we call a wall press. which is where you stand in front of a wall. Your feet need to be further away from the wall than your shoulders, so you're still putting some effort through your shoulders and chest muscles. Same hand position, and just dropping in against the wall, that works as well. Okay, excuse me. Next, we have an alternating band row. So what I want you to do is get your resistance bands, anchor them in a door, as always being mindful of making sure it's safe, that the door isn't going to pop open on you, because not all houses are all that stable with their door frames. I know mine isn't. Then position yourself away from the anchor point so you've got lots of resistance on the band, and then pulling back into a row. So arms stroking the side of your body, leading with your elbow, big squeeze of the shoulder blade as you pull back. So I'm going to alternate, so that way we don't have to swap arms at 15 seconds, and it just makes it easier to maintain a really good fast flow of movement. Then after that we have our shadow boxing, which is going to be punching. I'm not going to demo that out too much because I don't think we need to. As I said, I'm going to change up the cardio as I go through, and you can choose which one you want to do. And if you want to substitute it out for something else, like mountain climbers or high knees, as long as you are keeping the intensity really nice and high, I don't mind too much what you do. So that's our first round. Our second round, we have got a lunge, and again we'll be alternating. As you should know, our lunge position, starting feet hip width apart, stepping forward, dropping down, knees staying about 90 degrees. If you can't do a lunge like that, if you don't like the dynamic movement of it, go to a split squat, which is the same upwards and downwards movement pattern, but without having to step in and out. If you are in this position, keep the on the balls of your toes on your back foot, so you're not putting too much of a stretch through your calf muscle, and that just makes life a little bit easier. If you can't get your knee all the way down to the floor in your lunge, that's absolutely fine. Just work within a range of motion that you're comfortable with. If you're struggling with the balance side of things, hold on to something to steady yourself, because although it's good, it's better if you don't need to, because it means your core's working harder to keep you balanced and to keep everything in position. But it's better that you steady yourself rather than falling over, because no one wants to do that. So that's our lunge. Next we have a beast of an exercise. This is called an ab walkout. And for your ab walkout, you are coming into a plank position, either on your knees or on your toes, and you are walking your hands out as far as you can, then walking them back in. Now for this, everything from a plank position applies, so sucking your belly button in towards your spine, keeping everything nice and controlled, keeping your hips level, not letting your bum come up. All of those things apply, but you're walking your hands out and back in. And this is a beauty. It's quite challenging. If you really struggle to do it, then maintain a plank. If you want to maintain a plank but just switch up a little bit, get into your plank position, and rather than having your hands under your shoulders, walk them forward as far as you're comfortable with and maintain that position. And that's just going to change the emphasis slightly, hit the shoulders in a slightly different way. So that's just changing it up a bit. Next we have a lunge with a band press. So I'm bringing the camera back up. Sorry for anyone that gets motion sickness. Now our lunge with a band press. For this, bands are still anchored in the door in the same position as our row. And what we're doing is we're stepping forward. It's not a proper lunge like we've just done. It's a step forward and bend of the knee. And what you do as you do that is you punch the bands forward as you're lunging. And what you do is get quite a high intensity workout, because you're moving dynamically and you're pushing the bands forward. And as with everything we're doing, because it's limited amounts of time, we are looking to work quite hard at a really good pace, keeping heart rate and breathing rate up. Next we have rows. If you've been following every workout, you will know how to do all of these already. So striking your sides with your arms, leading with shoulders, squeezing shoulder blades together at the back. If it's too easy, move further away from the anchor point for the bands. If it's too hard, move further back towards the anchor point, or you can play with the bands you use to make sure it's still the right level of challenge to give you a good workout. Doesn't matter what bands I'm using, it needs to be the workout that is good for you. Okay, and then after that, another minute of cardio. Third round. Okay, so with this one, we are starting with a lateral lunge. Now, a lateral lunge is a lunge but sideways. So you're starting, stepping out and lunging back. And what you'll find with this is you want to, I'm using my arms to come up and reach forward because that helps with my balance. Let me show you from the side. So my knee is still hitting roughly 90 degrees, just over. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do 15 seconds on each side because alternating just takes a little bit too much time. And what you'll feel in the leg that is left long, you get a really big stretch through the inner thigh. So this one hits the inner thigh quite nicely. After that, we have a Pallof press. So our Pallof press is taking the resistance bands, holding the handles, and you are basically getting some resistance on the band and you are pushing them straight out in front of you. And what you're aiming for, and I'm going to show you without the bands just because of the position of the camera, you're aiming to push them straight out in front of you and back. Now it looks really easy, but the reason this works is when you push them out in front of you, because of the nature of them being bands, they're going to want to pull your arms that way. So they're going to want to keep the band at the same length and they're going to want to pull your arms, and your body is going to have to fight hard to keep them in a nice straight line. This is called an anti-rotation exercise because you are resisting a force that's trying to make you rotate, and you should feel it down your sides. You want to have resistance on the band. If you're finding that your arms, your hands are curving, you need to stand closer to your anchor point because it's vital in this exercise that your hands are going straight out and coming straight back in. If it feels too easy, get a little bit further away from the anchor point. If it feels too hard, get a little bit closer, but your hands must be moving straight in and straight out, keeping your core nice and tightly engaged. If you've got any problems with this, let me know. Okay, so that's the Pallof press. Then we have a band press, which is like our lunge with press. And what we're doing, getting loads of resistance on the bands and just pressing through. We're not moving with this. And as always, with this press, what you need to do, you need to be pushing forwards, keeping your wrists nice and straight and strong. And you need to be really controlling that backwards pull. Because if you let go, your arms are going to jerk back and you're at risk of injuring your shoulder, which isn't much fun. So really control that backward movement. And the bands are going to fight really hard to pull you back to your starting point, so you're going to have to fight equally hard to keep them under control. After that, we have a band swimmer. This is the last one I'm demoing, I promise. And our band swimmer, starting with resistance on the band, arms straight out in front of you, drawing a semicircle back As you semicircle back, you're leaning forwards until the bands touch your shoulders. And that is your band swimmer. Okay. Any problems with these exercises, let me know. If you have an issue with doing one of them or a couple of them and you need to substitute them out, that's absolutely fine. If you don't know what to substitute them for, drop me a message and I will get you sorted, and I'll make sure you know the exercise and you're comfortable with it. Otherwise, we are about ready to go. Now this is always fun because I have to watch the timer. As I said, if I look that way, please excuse me. I'm just trying to make sure that I am keeping an eye on the time. Without any further ado, let's get going. As always, make sure you've got a drink and got a towel if you need it to keep yourself mopped. Right, we are on 16 minutes. Let's go. So as always, just going to do a quick warm up. Make sure you're nice and warm. Muscles are nice and elastic. Joints are moving and ready to go. Starting with our jogging on the spot. Stretching out through the chest. Really letting those arms go back. Get a nice stretch. Getting your shoulders ready. Continuing the focus on the shoulders. And rotating the arms. Doesn't matter which way you go because we're going to change it in a second anyway. And other way. Still keep that jog up. Help raise your heart rate. Start to raise your breathing rate a little bit. If you can't keep the jog up, that's absolutely fine. Just walk it out, nice brisk march. As long as you're starting to get a little bit warmer, then I don't mind too much. Then start to speed that jog up. If you're marching, speed up that march. And then go into some high knees. And this is just carrying on, increasing your body temperature, increasing the rate that you're working at. And then into some butt kicks. So both the high knees and the butt kicks can be done standing. You can high knee your march and do standing butt kicks, but just keep going at a pace that starts to get your body moving a bit faster and having to work a bit harder. Come to standing, rotating through the hips. That's it. And then what I want you to do is grab your tin of beans. It's going to do a little bit more movement prep. I'm going to grab a weight. Sorry about that. Took a little longer than expected. Going to start with our rotations. Weight straight out in front of you or whatever it is you're holding. Keeping hips forward. And just doing 6 with feet planted on the floor. Then bringing your heels up and letting your whole body rotate. And doing this one for 8. Or in my case, 10, because that felt really good. Letting the weight hang down, hip hinging back, and just pushing it up above your head. Getting everything moving for about 8 times. Then we're tapping forwards, not a big kind of formal lunge, just a movement where you're coming down to the floor, getting your ankles, knees and hips working. And then finally, your weight at the chest, dropping down, pushing the weight forward, as we squat. Keeping a nice straight back, going as nice and low as we can into that squat. That's it. Go drop your weight and we're ready to go. So, I'm going to get the timer going. Now before I do this, I'm going to make sure the screen is set to not switch off, because it's really, really frustrating when you start doing an exercise and you find that the timer, the screen dies as it goes into a rest mode and you lose your timer. So I've got my timer here ready to go, and we are getting ready with our first round, starting with prisoner squats, and we are going in 3, 2, 1, go. So with our squats, hands behind our neck, not pulling forward on the neck, but dropping down into our squats, keeping our backs nice and straight, keeping nice and tight through the core, bum coming down as low as you can make it, and we're resting in 3, 2, 1. We have 15 seconds to rest, and during that 15 seconds we're coming down for our plank, and we're going in 3, 2, 1, go. And we now have 30 seconds of a plank. So as I said, hips stay nice and level, belly button really pulled in through up towards your spine. I don't mind if you're on your knees or on your toes or on your elbows and forearms or on your hands, as long as it is giving you a challenge. And rest. Now we have 15 seconds rest before we go into our press up. And we're going in 3, 2, 1, go. So 30 seconds of this, pushing at quite a rate. You really want to be challenging yourself to go as fast as you can. You're going to find that I'm going to get out of breath. I'm going to get red and sweaty. I hope you are too. Check the time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. 15 seconds rest before we go into our alternating band rows. And go. Go nice and fast. 10 seconds in. As fast as you can. I started coasting as I thought more about my timing than the exercise. Pulling nice and fast. And rest. And then we have our 1 minute of cardio. I'm going to start with shadow boxing. And go. And with this, going as fast as you can. Should be really pushing. If you're not already feeling out of breath, you are not working hard enough. 20 seconds in to this 1 minute round. Excuse me. 30 seconds in. Pushing as hard and fast as you can. Less than 20 seconds left. 10 seconds to go. First round done. Well done. One more of these. So in between rounds, you get 1 minute to rest. If you find that you're recovering really quickly and you don't want to go for the whole minute because you want to get straight back in there and keep the intensity nice and high, absolutely do it. I'm going to rest for a minute for those people that want a bit more recovery time. You should be pushing, you should be working quite hard. You want to be anywhere between a 7 and an 8 on the scale. But don't push it so hard that you can't maintain it. And go with our prisoner squats. So going nice and fast, aiming to keep that intensity up. From the front and back from the side. And we have 10 seconds left of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're coming down for our plank. And going in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So shoulders above your hands. Hips down so you're in a nice line. None of this or this, keeping in a nice straight line. Try and tuck your pelvis under. You'll get more of a contraction through the abs. Sucking your tummy button in towards your spine. Clenching everything. Less than 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Oh, excuse me. And we're going with our push-ups in 3, 2, 1, go. If these press-ups are too easy, you can try and raise your feet up off the floor, keeping core nice and tight. Over halfway through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. As you can see there, everything was getting a bit tired. Struggled to maintain form. We've got our alternating band rows going now. So moving fast, but maintaining that form. 10 seconds to go. Try not to twist through the hips. It's only your arms that are moving. 3, 2, 1, rest. So for cardio next, I'm going to go for star jumps, but you do what works for you. Go. If you're star jumping, bringing your hands up to meet above your head, going as fast as you can. This is too easy. Go for an explosive star jump. Ooh, hello. Be mindful of light fittings. But either way, pushing yourself to work nice and fast, halfway through. Seconds to go. Woo. Timer fell over. It's all going on now. 10 seconds. If you can push and do something a little bit harder for the last 10 seconds, then do it. And rest. Whew. Note to self, doing a lot of jumping around a low light fitting and an iPad that's propped up on a toy, gonna cause all kinds of issues. 1 minute rest. As you can see, out of breath, bit sweaty, heart rate's up. It's all good. So next round, lunges, ab walkouts, lunges with band presses, rows and cardio. 2 rounds of that. We're going in 10 seconds. So we'll start with our lunges in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And I'm alternating. Still going nice and fast. Trying to go as fast as I can. Pushing for speed, but maintaining form. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next, coming down for our ab walkouts. Going now. So plank position, walking out with your hands and walking them back in. Keeping that tummy button sucked in. Maintaining that plank position, walking your hands out as far as you can. And rest. Oh my goodness. Okay, lunges and band presses next. Oh, phone fell down. And go. And rest. Now, your chest and shoulders probably going to be feeling it a bit now. And we have rows now. Getting a lot of resistance on the band. And then once you're comfortable with the movement, bring it a bit faster. So you're keeping up the intensity. Less than 10 seconds to go. Really squeezing those shoulder blades at the back. And rest. Next, I'm going to burpee, which I think is very brave, for a minute. And go. Hands down, jumping feet in, jumping them back and up. The important thing with these is maintaining that plank position as you jump your feet back out. "20 seconds in. You can walk them in and out if you want to, where you're putting your hands down, stepping them in and out and just coming to standing. Or you can do your shadow boxing or your star jumps. 15 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Rest. goodness. I didn't even do a full minute of burpees, and that's still really hard. Whew. Halfway through your rest. Don't know about you guys, but I really need that full minute right now. 20 seconds to go, and then we're going again with our lunges. Whew. 10 seconds. Try and control your breathing, help bring down your heart rate, and go. So I've got 30 seconds of these alternating lunges, going as fast as you can whilst maintaining decent form. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, rest. After this, ab walkouts. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good plank position. Walking your hands out as far as you can, and then back in. Sucking that tummy button in, halfway through. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Coming up for lunge and band presses. Going in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Unless you're me and didn't have the camera in the right place. Halfway through. 3, 2, 1, and rest. I was getting a bit tired towards the end. Form started to fail a little bit, so just be careful of that. And next, we have rows. Go. Nice and fast. Squeezing the shoulder blades at the back. Halfway through. Everything's getting very tired. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Cardio round next. Going in about 8 seconds. I'm going to revert to shadow boxing. 3, 2, 1, go. So as you progress through the workout, it's going to start getting harder. You're going to find that you're slowing down as you get more tired. That's fine. Work as hard as you can, but work within your own capacity. I'm pushing to go as hard and fast as I can, but it needs to be hard and fast for you. But don't make excuses. Don't coast. Push yourself to a 7 and 8 on the scale. 0's being on the sofa, 10 sprinting for a bus. So hard you think your heart's gonna pop. You wanna be hitting a 7 or 8. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Now what you'll find is, the harder you push in the cardio rounds, And the more intense the cardio rounds, the harder the bits in between are going to feel, because your heart rate's going to be more elevated. You're still going to be breathing harder. You're not going to have recovered as much. So use the cardio rounds to really push, and then use your minute of rest to breathe deeply, really trying to control the breath. Which is really hard when you're out of breath and you've been working hard, but it'll help you recover. Right, we are going again with our third round, and we're starting with our lateral lunges in 3, 2, 1, go. So I am doing 15 seconds on each side with these, because it's just a bit too time consuming to keep alternating. Changing in 3, 2, 1. So still pushing that bum back, keeping the knee that's bending at about 90 degrees. And rest. Got 15 seconds until we come into our power presses. 5 seconds to go. Remember with this, bands coming straight out. And go. We're going to do 15 seconds on one side. Sorry, the first 30 seconds on one side, and when we do the second round, you're going to go the other side. We're over halfway through, so keep turning round. Have to check the time. 3, 2, 1, rest. Then we have our band press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And with this, pushing forward, keeping wrists straight and strong, going at a good pace, but really controlling the backwards pull of the bands. Halfway through. Try and keep that pace up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And then we have our band swimmers going in 5 seconds. And go. Again, going nice and fast. Halfway through, keeping nice and controlled, even though everything's getting tired, keeping that nice flat back. One more, and rest. And then we have our cardio, and I'm going back to star jumps, which really shouldn't be allowed. And go. Endeavouring not to hit the light this time, or knock the timer over. 10 seconds. Pushing nice and hard. 20 seconds in, third of the way through. Hands meeting above your head, halfway through. 20 seconds to go. If you've got it in you, make it harder. 10 seconds. If you haven't done it already, try something a bit more difficult. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. 1 minute rest. 1 minute. Big breath. In through the nose. Control the exhale out. Taking control of your breath will help bring down your heart rate. One more round, and then that is it, my friends. 10 seconds, starting with our lateral lunges, 15 seconds on each side, and go. I'm not tapping my foot down because I'm trying to save time in between the lunges and make it as dynamic as possible. Swap. If you need to tap your foot down for stability, that's absolutely fine. 3, 2, 1, rest. Palloff presses. This time I'm going to be facing the other way, so you get the joyous shot of my back. And go. So with these, making sure that the band's coming straight out in front of you. If it's curving to the side and you can't control its path, you need to be closer to the anchor point. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Little stay at me. And next we have our band presses, and we're going now. Now this I'm finding hard. Shoulders and arms are sore and tired, so it's really hard to control the backwards movement properly. But I've got less than 10 seconds to go, as have you, so keep pushing to the end. 3, 2, 1, rest. We have band swimmers next, going in about 10 seconds. Mop off if you need to. And 3, 2, 1, go. So pushing for speed, but keeping control. You want your back to be as flat as possible. 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. Starting to really hurt. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh my goodness. We have our last cardio round. I'm going to go back to burpees because I'm officially crazy. So jumping if you can. Going as fast as you can. Stepping them out and in, and just coming up to standing if you need to. But what you need to do is maintain that solid plank position in between. So I want none of this or this. You need to be in this position as your feet go out. 20 seconds to go. 15, nearly there. Keep going. 10. 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Wow, that was tough. Right, let your breathing and heart rate come down a bit. Oh, excuse that sniff. That was gross. Oh, you should be gassed right now. Heart rate should be up. Breathing rate should be up. You should be feeling pretty damn hot and sweaty. If you're not, and you've genuinely worked as hard as you can, kept yourself pushing for pace whilst maintaining form. If you've not worked hard enough, let me know, and I'll do an advanced version for you. But that one, pretty tough. Right, breathing rate and heart rate should have come down enough to start getting you stretched off, because that will continue to fall as we do our stretches. So first, shoulders, arms straight out, hands above your elbow, and pulling in. Holding for between 10 and 15 seconds. And then swapping over. Hands together, linking your fingers, pushing your palms out and stretching out between your shoulder blades. Hands behind your back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Releasing, rolling your shoulders and forwards. Breathing should be slowing, heart rate should be dropping. I'm going to do standing glutes. You can lie down and cross your ankle over the opposite knee and pull your knee in towards you. But I'm going to do it standing, so bringing my ankle over the opposite knee, holding onto something. You really want to sink back and down as low as you can to get a really good stretch through the glutes. And then swapping over. And same thing but on the other side. And coming up. Going to go into hamstrings next. So if you're on the ground, just bringing one leg up as straight as possible, pulling it in towards you. As we're standing, one leg up the front, bend your back leg and tilt your pelvis so you get a nice long stretch. Reaching down towards your toes, doesn't matter if you touch them, it's just to elongate the stretch further. And then toes up towards you. Swapping over, same on the other side. Feeling very sweaty, I'm not going to lie. Reaching down. And toes up. And release. Finally, we have our quad stretch. So bringing your foot up towards your bottom, knees together, pushing your hips forward to get a nice stretch. And then same on the other side. And release. Give everything a shake. And you're all done. Very well done. Hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you next time.